Welcome to Talking About Kids. I'm your host, R. Bradley Snyder, researcher, activist, and author of The 5 Simple Truths of Raising Kids. For somebody who cares about kids, Thanksgiving is complicated. On one hand, it is about gratitude and people coming together to share a meal and participate in a larger cultural tradition, things that support healthy child development. On the other hand, it commemorates colonization and is emblematic of a whitewashing of U.S. history that has allowed for an othering that is harmful to children. Add excess, stress, and complicated family dynamics, and you have, well, a uniquely American experience. As longtime listeners of the Talking About Kids podcast know, when America has me befuddled, I often turn to James Baldwin. What does he have to say about Thanksgiving? Well, according to the internet, he wrote a whole short story about it. Only he didn't. James Baldwin did. Let me explain. James Baldwin, the American educator and children's book author, who was born in 1841 and died in 1925, published a book in 1912 called 50 Famous People, a book of short stories. In it, there is a story called Why He Carried a Turkey. It is not specifically about Thanksgiving, but there is the titular turkey, and the sentiment seems right. As far as I can tell, my James Baldwin, the author and activist who was born in 1924 and died in 1987, never said anything specific about a turkey or Thanksgiving. Perhaps the closest he came is this quote that summarizes the feelings I expressed at the beginning of this monologue. Quote, American history is longer, larger, more various, more beautiful, and more terrible than anything anyone has ever said about it. End quote. But the internet sometimes has trouble telling the two James Baldwins apart. In fact, you can go on Amazon and buy a copy of 50 Famous People with James Baldwin, the civil rights leader, on its cover, despite the fact that he was born 12 years after it was originally published. I'm including a link to it in the episode notes. But none of this is either James Baldwin's fault. And as I mentioned, Why He Carried a Turkey is an apropos story for Thanksgiving. So for this mini episode, I will read it to you. Why He Carried a Turkey. In Richmond, Virginia, one Saturday morning, an old man went into the market to buy something. He was dressed plainly, his coat was worn, and his hat was dingy. On his arm, he carried a small basket. I wish to get a fowl for tomorrow's dinner, he said. The market man showed him a fat turkey, plump and white, and ready for roasting. Ah, that is just what I want, said the old man. My wife will be delighted with it. He asked the price and paid for it. The market man wrapped a paper around it and put it in the basket. Just then, a young man stepped up. I will take one of those turkeys, he said. He was dressed in fine style and carried a small cane. Shall I wrap it up for you? Asked the market man. Yes, here is your money, answered the young gentleman, and send it to my house at once. I cannot do that, said the market man. My errand boy is sick today, and there is no one else to send. Besides, it is not our custom to deliver goods. Then how am I to get it home? Asked the young gentleman. I suppose you will have to carry it yourself, said the market man. It is not heavy. Carry it myself? Who do you think I am? Fancy me carrying a turkey along the street, said the young gentleman, and he began to grow very angry. The old man who had bought the first turkey was standing quite near. He'd heard all that was said. "Excuse me," he said, "but may I ask where you live?" "I live at number 30 Black Street," answered the young gentleman, "and my name is Johnson." "Well, that is lucky," said the old man. "I happen to be going that way, and I will carry your turkey if you will allow me." "Oh, certainly," said Mr. Johnson. "Here it is. You may follow me." When they reached Mr. Johnson's house, the old man politely handed him the turkey and turned to go. "Here, my friend, what shall I pay you?" said the young gentleman. "Oh, nothing, sir, nothing," answered the old man. "It was no trouble to me, and you are welcome." He bowed and went. Young Mr. Johnson looked after him and wondered. Then he turned and walked briskly back to the market. "Who is that polite old gentleman who carried my turkey for me?" he asked the market man. "That is John Marshall, Chief Justice of the United States. He is one of the greatest men in our country," was the answer. The young man was surprised and ashamed. "Why did he offer to carry my turkey?" he asked. "He wished to teach you a lesson," answered the market man. "What sort of lesson?" "He wished to teach you that no man should feel himself too fine to carry his own packages." "Oh, no," said another man who had seen and heard it all. "Judge Marshall carried the turkey simply because he wished to be kind and obliging. That is his way." I wish you a warm and peaceful Thanksgiving. Talking About Kids is sponsored in part by the Arizona Department of Health Services Must Stop Bullying campaign through its Title V Maternal and Child Health Program. For more information, go to muststopbullying.org. Full-length Talking About Kids episodes return next week. As always, the Talking About Kids theme song is by the Senators. For more of their music, go to thesenatorsmusic.com. And remember, kids are young goats and young humans, and the difference is that young goats are easier to manage.